In July 2015, Russia invaded a portion of neighboring Georgia to capture a valuable oil pipeline in disputed territory. Following Russia's annexation of Crimea in 2014, NATO has been on high alert for further incursions. Although Russia claims to have no interest in invading other surrounding countries, the unpredictable threat still remains. In particular, the Baltic states have expressed concern about being able to defend themselves should Russia launch an attack. So we wanted to know, what would happen if Russia went to war with the Baltics? Well, historically, the Baltic states of Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia have been pretty bad at staving off invasions. With no natural borders, they have spent much of their history being dominated by foreign powers. Unfortunately, even today, the Baltic states are not very militarily powerful. Despite having enviable economic growth and a high development index, they spend less than 2% of what Russia spends on their military. They are even unable to police their own airspace and need neighboring countries to take turn watching the skies. In a direct matchup, the Baltic states would be pitting about 100,000 troops against 3.25 million Russian troops. In other words, they'd have no chance. However, in any actual conflict, Russia wouldn't be going up against the Baltics, but against every NATO country. This is because the Baltic states are NATO members, and Article 5 of the NATO Treaty says that attack on a single member is an attack on all of them. In fact, the entire original purpose of NATO was to mutually protect European powers against the Soviet Union. This shifts the equation heavily against Russia. The NATO countries account for 70% of worldwide military expenditures. Their combined forces would constitute roughly 7 million in manpower. The Baltic states are also EU members, bringing an additional 6 countries to their rescue. Although most of the non-NATO EU members are neutral, like Finland and Ireland. Finally, the Baltics have a direct military alliance with the Nordic states, which would suffer severe repercussions from a Russian invasion. With more than 30 countries backing the Baltics against a possible invasion, Russia would be starting World War III in trying to capture those 3 states. That said, this doesn't necessarily preclude Russia from winning. One major advantage is that while the rest of the world shies away from nuclear warfare, Russia has been openly ramping up its nuclear arsenal. Although a nuclear strike is unthinkable, it's not impossible. And that knowledge, unfortunately, gives Russia major bargaining power. If you want to learn more about Estonia, Lithuania, and Latvia, check out our video, How Powerful Are the Baltic States?
Together, they have a land size of roughly 70,000 square miles and are a little larger than the state of Florida. However, their population is fairly small at about 6 million residents, or roughly 2 million fewer people than in New York City.
Thanks for watching, and make sure to like and subscribe for new videos every day of the week.